Tide. We'll be with you until about 8 o'clock. The coach is going to check out about 7:30. We'll hear from the former Tiger, Mike Sandbo, native of Washington, Missouri. We'll hear from him coming up at about 7:30. Kyle Smith-Peters will help close the show here on Tiger Talk. Quite a week for the Tigers last week as they knocked off Oklahoma and Georgia by a combined 37 points. Huh? Happy about that? With that, Dennis Gates' team now moves to number 15, according to the Associated Press, number 16, according to the coaches. And coming up tomorrow evening at sold-out Mizzou Arena in Columbia, the fourth-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama come to town for an 8 p.m. tip-off. We'll have the coverage at 7:30 here on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield. Lots to get into tonight, but first and foremost, thanks to each and every one of you for making your way to the show tonight. We sincerely appreciate the folks from Harpo's being open tonight. And how about a round of applause for all those from Harpo's that are taking care of you tonight? I don't know if you knew this.
What's that?
But while we are working, they're drinking for free.
Wow. No wonder it's crowded.
So, enjoy yourself.
Please enjoy yourself.
We're a little jealous. We're just a little jealous, but that's okay. First of all, congratulations. 2-0 last week and made it home on Saturday night, so congratulations on that, too.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think our guys did a great job of preparing for the week. We had a great response on Monday as our practices went on, and then obviously playing Oklahoma and then getting on the road to play Georgia, which only 2 teams have been able to win there prior to us, and we made it 3. So it was a great week for us. We just want to build on top of it and obviously make the momentum move forward.
This time of year when you're trying to continue to build off of that momentum,
yes.
Give us an idea just from a structure standpoint. What does practice look like this time of the year? You're paring things down a little bit in terms of the time you're spending in the gym, or what does it look like? So
you want to keep their mental, emotional fatigue, right? You don't want to get to that point. You want to be able to keep them fresh.
Right.
So at this point in the season, what we do is we scale things back. We'll still cover all the bases, but it starts off with film, probably about a 15, 20-minute debrief or preparation for our next opponent. And then we'll just go into the practices. We'll go no contact on Monday, Tuesday, which was today. We went contact probably at 50%, and then that prepares us for the game. But more importantly, we're probably at an hour, 15-hour, 20-minute duration. And it's covering every facet of the game, ending with execution. We dive into 5-on-5 play. At the most, we'll go 2 or 3 trips, depending, and we'll do our transition work. We'll do our rebounding work. We'll do our free throw work. But more importantly, we sharpen our tools, and we want these guys to obviously move forward with a certain focus, and it has to look a certain way, sound a certain way, and last but not least, if we have a 5-minute drill and I'm not okay with how it's going, I'll just reset the time and then the guys will tighten up.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about rebounding because on Saturday, for the 8th time in 12 SEC games, you out-rebounded your opponent.
Yeah.
Rebounding's been a focal point. It's been something that you work on each and every day in practice. Yeah. You're seeing it pay dividends, aren't you?
I think first you got to have the type of players to physically impact the game. Josh Gray, Mark Mitchell, Caleb Grill, different guys throughout our roster. Second, we put it as it relates to the focus of our off-season as coaches. What I've learned the most is making sure we implement it without harming our players in an injury way. I assigned Kyle Smith-Peters with the assignment to make sure this is your baby. I want you to take this and do what you need to do with it to make sure it's impacting our games, our wins, our team. And that's what he's been able to do, and he'll be able to dive deeper into that part of it. But he's done a tremendous job. Josh Gray is a great addition that sort of gives us that identity, and Mark Mitchell as well.
The Rodman shirt, obviously, that Kyle wears in practice.
Yeah, he wears that every day in practice, Rodman shirts. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Absolutely, it is cool. All right, let's dive into the games. And obviously Oklahoma resulted in Mark Mitchell coming out and getting a career-high 25 points. He was attacking the Sooners from the word go. When Mark Mitchell plays with that mindset to attack, every time he touches the ball. How does that change your team?
Well, we want Mark to be aggressive. Obviously, he wasn't happy about the week before, the week prior of me just having him rest a little bit longer than he's normally used to resting. So that responded a certain way. His practices responded. He responded a certain way, and obviously we saw an aggressive player. And we have to live with him making mistakes while he's aggressive. And our team's identity is completely different on the heels of Mark Mitchell's aggressiveness offensively and defensively, and you can see the difference.
Needed 16 going in to reach 1,000. He got to 19 in the first half and bypassed the 1,000-point plateau.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know it happened in the first half. I didn't know how far away he was, but outstanding accomplishment for him. Throughout his career, he's done a great job, tremendous job. So my hat's off to the way he responded.
We talked afterwards, and I think everybody agrees there were areas of the game you could have been better, particularly on the offensive side.
Yeah.
But from a defensive standpoint, you hold them to 58 points.
That was one of our best defensive games, and our guys connected. Again, they fall in love with the process of preparing, and our staff does a great job of scouting, and we put them in situations that make them instinctually identify the plays, the players, the personnel of our opponents, and they take it seriously, man, and they hold each other accountable. And I'm just thankful that we're able to see those things play out in real life, and seeing it in a game in that way, in that fashion, gives us confidence moving forward.
On to Georgia on Saturday, you're down by 3 at the half. You hit them with a 15-0 run early in the second half.
Yeah.
Got up by as many as 19. And Anthony Robinson, all around, was as good as he's been this season.
I challenged Ant Robinson and Trent Pierce that we need you guys to play better. Instead of changing the starting lineup and taking those guys out, I felt the need to let them work through their problem or their sort of slump and work through it and get to the other side of it. And seeing both these guys play well, Ant exceptionally well, especially on the defensive end, he ignited our offense, he ignited our defense, and our players just followed.
It's Dennis Gates and I'm Mike Kelly. We're at Harpo's in downtown Columbia, staple in downtown since 1971, and the home for Tiger Talk during the basketball season. Hey, remember, you can show your swagger with a Tiger checking card from Central Bank. Open it today, www.centralbank.net. More with the coach coming up. Film study, transition offense is the focus. Up next on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
Oh, did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You could call it swagger. You could call it a vibe. You could call it confidence. You could call it cool. Or you could call it exactly as it is, Tiger Pride. Show your Mizzou spirit with a Tiger checking card, only from Central Bank. Sign up today at tigerchecking.com. Central Bank. Strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC.
Oh, listening to your favorite basketball team battle it out on the hardwood court. When it comes to performance, teams demand the quality of real American wood floors, and you should too. But not just wood floors, real wood cabinets, millwork, even real wood furniture. Beautiful, durable, and timeless. Real wood is always the right choice. Learn more by visiting choosewood.com.
At MU Healthcare, believing anything is possible is how we treat every patient. It's how we find answers to medicine's most difficult questions, like uncovering new ways to help the body fight cancer, renewing hope for epilepsy patients, and stopping muscular dystrophy in its tracks. At MU Healthcare, we won't stop searching for answers, because when it comes to your health, we never settle. Neither should you.
Tiger Talk on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield and from Harpo's in downtown Columbia. Hey, Gentile, now the apparel provider of the Mizzou Radio Network. Check out their new collection of Mizzou apparel available at gentileapparel.com or at Bingham's in downtown Columbia. The next time you're in town for a game, Gentile Apparel is a proud partner of Mizzou Athletics. Dennis Gates is alongside. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we visit with the former Tiger Mike Sandbo. Kyle Smith-Peters will close the show. Before we dive into film study, a couple of things to talk about. Missouri, as we told you, 15 according to the AP, 16 according to the coaches. NCAA net now at number 16. National ranking scoring offense number 19, 82.6 points per game. Second in free throws made, 19.7. Third in free throws attempted at 27.2. Number 4 in bench scoring at 36 points a game. Seventh in steals at 10 per game. And Caleb Grill is fourth nationally in three-point percentage, making 46.7 of his attempts. Your bench really played a role, a vital role once again on Saturday at Georgia.
Our depth, it's one of our strengths. And when I say we're 18 strong, we're 18 strong. These guys bring different elements to our team. Practice-wise is one dimension. But once the games take place, man, they're so connected with each other. You can see by the post-game interviews how unselfish our players are and how genuinely they are excited for the success of others.
I want to dive into that a little bit because, you know, when you dive into the portal, right, you got to be good in the portal. Yep. And you got to be precise and you got to do a great job of evaluation because the portal can build your team or it can tear it down. You brought in two guys that were the leading scorers or among the leading scorers on their teams. One of the guys came in as the second leading scorer, active scorer in college basketball, talking about Marquise Warwick. Jacob Cruz, second on his team in scoring. And you got two guys that primarily were the guy at their previous place to come in and buy in to deferring to teammates and being a part of the culture and a part of the program. How did you do that?
Well, we work with our sports psychologist, Dr. Joe Carr, and the first thing we do is concentrate on team building. We want to break down the barriers that separate individuals from each other. We want to put everybody on the same page. Obviously, we got our program core values. We want to educate them on them. And we just want those guys to be able to sift through our transition in a way that allows them success, but also understand the pro model, the analytics, the different things that's required. And we just have the right kids that have been coached the right way. You
know, the neat thing about it, too, and I said to Quez afterwards how proud I was of him because he is genuinely happy for his teammates. Absolutely. Jacob Cruz is genuinely happy for his teammates and excited to be a part of this program.
Yeah, those two guys are taking a step up when it comes to level, but they've had success while taking that step up in spurts. Now we want them to be consistent, especially in this time frame of the season. We're going to need both of them to step up in addition to other guys as well.
Jump into film study tonight as we talk about transition offense. And your team, 19 fast break points against Georgia on Saturday.
Yeah. So if you look at the screen, you'll see the rankings of transition points per game. We're at 20.6, tied with William and Mary, but more importantly, that is a stat that you cannot take lightly. Obviously, we get those opportunities in couple fashions. Off defensive execution, meaning live ball turnovers, and in the other way, rebounding the basketball. Obviously, you can talk to Kyle Smith-Peters a little bit about that. But go to the next slide. You'll end up seeing right here us in the passing lane trying to create opportunities. If you look at that, we're also one of the top teams in steals. And you have guys with great anticipation, great length. We switch 1 through 5, sometimes 1 through 4. So that's a way. Clapback is obviously taking the basketball out as fast as you can and then creating a numerical disadvantage. Obviously, you see California scores. Outlet goes to Tony Perkins. He advances the ball on the EPA. And Ant Robinson being able to deliver in the paint. The next clip you'll see, obviously, is toss back. What's a toss back? Well, you create opportunities by attacking the paint. No different than that, you have a pass forward and followed back by the person who passed it to or advanced the basketball. In that case, it was Ant Robinson receiving and then tossing back to Tamar Bates. Right here on this clip, you see Tamar Bates. And if you rewind this clip, you'll see Tamar Bates create an angle, knowing where his teammate Caleb Grill wants it, and Caleb Grill just follows that with a catch and shoot opportunity. And it's just a way for us to be able to be in transition. The last part of it is a two-side. Two-side is a transition fast break where you want to create opportunities on the sideline. You find most often you got advances up, but what about the east-west pass, west-to-east pass along the court where now you can attack the sidelines, and in this case, Marquez works on the left hash mark at the half court or logo. He advances to the right sideline to Tamar Bates. Tamar Bates advances up to Mark Mitchell, who's sprinting up the court. And what we want to do is work on arrival spacing, opportunities to space out in transition, but we want to have those situations where we have our opponent's defense rotating while in transition defense.
Lots to talk about coming over our next segment about tomorrow night's opponent. Fourth-ranked Alabama comes to town. We'll talk about the Crimson Tide and the Tigers. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, sold out Mizzou Arena. More with the coach up next on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
Hey friends, Matzo Matt here for Brew Pub Lots Matzo Pizza. Does it seem like you're camping in the forest of complaints when it comes to your kids and dinner time? Phrases like, what even is that? And,
we're having that again?
Or,
seriously?
Are getting tossed around like a frisbee at the beach. I know you want to break free from the barrage of bemoaning, so toss in a Brew Pub Lots Matzo Pizza for dinner tonight. That thin crust, delicious sauce, and mountain of mozzarella will have the kids singing your praises at dinner time. Snag a Brew Pub Lots Matzo Pizza today from the freezer section in your local grocery store.
Black and gold season never ends at the Tiger Team Store. Gear up for game day with the largest official selection of black and gold gear and gifts. From the latest Mizzou SEC gear to everything you need for your tailgate. The Tiger Team Store is your store for all things Mizzou. The Tiger Team Store has moved and is now located inside Mizzou Arena. Open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. with extended hours on game day. Or online at TigerTeamStore.com. It's always black and gold season at the Tiger Team Store.
Come on. That was me, a proper internet troll, finally having enough, all because of slow, spotty internet. We've all been there. So switch to Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Its ultra-fast fiber and wall-to-wall Wi-Fi coverage have me throwing out likes and hearts like confetti at a parade. I love parades. Who knew?
Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Switch to the bright side at brightspeed.com/today. Limited availability in select areas.
Addison's restaurants are great local spots to visit before or after all Mizzou home games. Addison's has 2 locations to choose from in Southwest and downtown Columbia. Addison's features a full bar with over 20 beers on tap, including local brewers, and of course their famous Nachos Bianco. So, before or after the game, stop by Addison's. View the full menu online for both locations at addisonsgrill.com.
It's game day, Tigers. Score big with fast check-ins, short security lines, and nonstop flights on American Airlines right here in Columbia. Whether you're traveling for the next big game or a quick getaway, Columbia Regional Airport gets you there easier and without the drive. Take the home court advantage to the skies at flycou.com. Columbia Regional Airport. There sooner, home faster.
It's time to get back into routine that focuses on you. Move better, feel better, simply live better at Wilson's Fitness. Escape reality in the indoor saltwater pool. Detox from the saunas or heat things up with our hot yoga. Wilson's is here to support you, motivate you, and help smash your goals with group fitness classes, personal coaching, and endless amenities. Move better, feel better, simply live better at Wilson's Fitness in Columbia. Visit them at wilsonsfitness.com.
Tiger Talk continues from Harpo's in downtown Columbia. Partner with the Tigers and the Food Bank, the official charitable partner of Mizzou Athletics. You can visit scoreagainsthunger.org to learn more about the Score Against Hunger campaign. It is presented by MPICS. And remember, normally we're on live through the family of networks through KMIZ in the St. Louis area, through the family of networks of KMOV. Additionally, remember, you can watch Tiger Talk and listen to it on the Tiger Radio Network, the Mizzou Athletics Facebook page, YouTube channels, and also all episodes of the show available on the Inside Mizzou Athletics podcast. Dennis Gates is alongside. We're going to talk about the Tigers matchup tomorrow night against Alabama at the sold-out arena here in Columbia. First of all, let's go through the top 25 for you. Auburn 1, Florida 2, Duke 3, Alabama's 4, Houston 5, Tennessee 6, Texas A&M 7, Iowa State 9, followed by Texas Tech, St. John's, Wisconsin 11, followed by Michigan, Purdue, Michigan State, Mizzou at 15, followed by Marquette, Kentucky, Clemson, and Arizona, then Maryland, final 5 in the top 25, Mississippi State at 21, then Memphis, Kansas at number 23, then Ole Miss, and Louisville. So again, the SEC very, very well received and well represented once again this week in the Associated Press poll. It's as good of a conference as we've ever seen.
I'll say this. We started our preseason unranked, as you know. We were ranked in KenPom about 52. But 15 weeks later, literally, we're 15 in KenPom, 15 in the AP poll, 16 in the net. That's a steady and slow growth, but it's in a direction where we've been able to get to know each other, and the players are growing in a way that garners their respect. And they've been put in difficult situations. So I'm just thankful for what we've been doing. This is historically the best ever conference assembled with coaches as well as players.
Multiple teams that will have the opportunity to not only play in the tournament, but play deep into the tournament.
Hopefully we get 14. I think Georgia is a NCAA tournament team. It's unfortunate that there will be losing records, but those losing records have a matrix and an analytics about their process and their season that's probably, if you transfer them over to a power conference, you'll see them rank amongst the top 3 or 4 teams in that conference.
Let's talk about Alabama. They had their 7-game winning streak snapped on Saturday in a 1-2 matchup at home against Auburn. They lose by 9. What impresses you the most about Nate Oates' team?
Nate Oates has done a great job. They're a potential number 1 seed. I truly believe they will earn that. But they're averaging 90-plus points a game, led by a All-American Mark Sears, Grant Nelson, and a host of other guys. They have done a tremendous job putting their roster together, but they play a style that's sort of equivalent and a mirror image of us. We shoot a lot of threes. We try to get to the foul line. We try to crash the glass a little bit and more so keep the pace going. So it's going to be an exciting game.
You are the only 2 teams in the country that make 18 free throws a game and make 8 threes a game.
Absolutely, which is not a common thing. That's why there's only 2 teams that's doing it, us and Alabama. You look at our roster, we have depth, they have depth, and it's one of those things where we got to go out and give our very best. But I truly believe, just like sitting here in Harpo's, there's an unbelievable crowd sitting here, and then obviously at Mizzou Arena, we're going to need everybody there to give us that advantage.
The great news is the weather's going to move out by about noon tomorrow. That's perfect. And
it's nice weather right now.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, you're a Chicago guy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
This is just a walk in the park.
This is perfect.
And the bottom line is the roads will be clean because of all the hardworking people that spend so much time making sure that they take care of the highways for you. So there's no excuse not to be at sold out
This won't
Mizzou
stop
Arena.
Our fans.
Not at all.
This won't stop our fans
at all. What makes Sears so effective?
Experience. His experience, his ability to play at different levels. He can shoot off the dribble from 3. He can get to the basket, finish with either hand. He can shoot a mid-range. But he's a deceptive player with strength, speed, athleticism, and also a high basketball IQ.
They're very effective shooting the ball on the road. I think making 38% of their threes away from home.
Yeah.
A lot of those are not just from a defender standpoint having heels on the line. It's you almost have to be 5 feet beyond the line because it's going up.
Well, they live and die by the three-point basket, and obviously it's been able to be so effective that it got them to the Final Four. And they'll try to make another run this postseason, but there's no doubt about it. tomorrow night's game will be electric.
What is it that allows them to score 90 points a game other than the
Pace.
three-point shot?
It's just the pace of the game. It's like us. We'll shoot the best available shot as soon as it takes place. We're trying to win the transition volume rate, which is the top or the first 7 to 12 seconds of a shot clock. Anything outside of that, you're in a shot clock dire situation. But we're trying to both get shots before a certain point, and we're trying to do it at a pace, and we're going to continue to push that pace regardless of if you miss 5 straight, 4 straight. You're going to keep shooting the basketball, play with a level of confidence, and they have the same structure of freedom we have.
How do guys like Nelson, Stevenson, Amori impact the game?
Well, all different. Stevenson and Nelson, they can catch and shoot threes. They can space the court. And obviously a Big Ten center like Amari, he's a great player, shot blocker, rim protector. But most of those guys are rim protectors with their length and their size and their athleticism.
25 games into the schedule. What are you most proud about your team 25 games in, having won 19 of them?
I'm proud of our team in this way, their level of consistency, but also their pace of growth. I think they've stayed in the moment, never got too far behind, never too far ahead. But more importantly, they've allowed each other to sort of the freedom of growth. And when you get growth taking place in every direction, the byproduct is your team grows. And I'm just thankful that these guys are open arms in our university. They have open arms as it relates to being here in the city of Como. And our fans, they've been tremendous with these guys.
Go get one tomorrow.
Thank you. MIZ.
ZOU. That's Dennis Gates and I'm Mike Kelly. His team tomorrow night trying to do something that hasn't been done since 1989, and that is to knock off a third top 5 team this season. A member of the last team to do it, Mike Sandbo, joins us next on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
You could call it swagger. You could call it a vibe. You could call it confidence. You could call it cool. Or you could call it exactly as it is, Tiger Pride. Show your Mizzou spirit with the Tiger Checking Card, only from Central Bank. Sign up today at tigerchecking.com. Central Bank, strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why our agents work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Isn't it time to check Shelter out? Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Dear winner, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
A message about driving safely from University of Missouri head basketball coach Dennis Gates.
Basketball requires everyone to be responsible teammates. Driving requires the same exact thing. Crashes can be avoided by practicing safe driving habits. Please leave all distractions aside. Once you're behind that wheel, that is your number one priority. Buckle up, phone down. Slow down, drive sober.
This message is brought to you by the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
I'm Mike Kelly. Tiger Talk continues from Harpo's in downtown Columbia. Brought to you by Shelter Insurance, ranked number 1 in customer satisfaction for auto insurance in the Central Region. By J.D. Power, 6 of the last 7 years. We're your shield. We're your shelter. This guy played in Missouri from 1985 to 1989. He was a part of a regular season title team in 1987. 2 Big 8 tournament championships in 1987 and 1989. Please welcome the native of Washington, Missouri, Mr. Mike Sandbo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Michael, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I'm sitting here at Harpo's, and I'm trying to go back to the late 80s and thinking, how much time did Mike Sandbo, Greg Church, Gary Leonard, and others spend at Harpo's back in the day?
Too much, probably.
It's funny. You were honest. You honestly answered the question. Sunvold, who was on with us earlier, said, I don't think I ever spent any time at Harpo's at all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hey, first of all, thanks for taking time. Sincerely appreciate it. When you think back to your career at Missouri, and we'll get into some numbers in just a little bit, but for Mike Sandbo, what stands out the most for a guy that grew up in Washington, Missouri, to come to the state institution and star and be a part of a successful program? What does that mean to you now, 40 years later?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. I mean, remember I was hurt. Remember my knee? I had my knee taped all the time. Didn't even know I hurt my knee my junior year. Didn't play at all in high school. So was limping around on a knee brace my senior year. And coach still gave me a scholarship. So I really wanted to do well, and so got my chance. And obviously, my knee stayed solid. Had some good doctors there, and I was able to continue my career there.
Yeah, you were a guy that finished your career ranked 8th in school history, 380 assists, 7th with 172 steals, and also was a guy that would score the basketball, making 111 starts and scored more than 700 points in your career. And you played really with some great players, right? And was a part of some great teams. What was it about that makeup of athletes that made you guys so successful?
Well, I mean, like you just said, there's tons of talent on that team. They needed a guy to pass the ball and shoot the ball and rebound and set screens. And, I kind of let my scoring kind of go away, but I wanted to win, So I look back, obviously, I wish I'd have shot the ball a bit more, but there were some great players. We had some great teams. And, I got no regrets.
Yeah, Lynn Hardy, you're talking about Nathan Bunton, of course, Doug, Johnny McIntyre, yourself, Greg Church. Some of those practices, as legend has it, might have been much more physical than the games could ever be.
Oh, yeah. We had some drag-out fights. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we've also had some where Norm ran us enough where we had some throwing up in the trash can, too. So, but, yeah, we went out of practice just like we did on the court. So,
yeah, you had to discover D-level a couple of times is what you're saying.
Yes, D-level was no fun. No fun.
Hey, so Missouri's trying to do something tomorrow night that your team is the last team to accomplish, and that is in one season to beat 3 top 5 teams. So far, well, you beat North Carolina ranked number 5, and then number 1 Oklahoma and number 2 Oklahoma in the same season. When you're trying to do something like that, what does it come down to in terms of execution, preparation, and things like that?
I mean, I think they've been doing a lot of that. In my opinion, it's defense. I mean, this team guards, and they're long, they're quick, they got size, and when they guard, I don't think there's anybody beat them. And with their depth, this team is deep. You talk about our team back in the '80s. This team is deep. I mean, they can go 8, 9, 10 players, and they got quickness at the guards. I mean, you got shooters. I mean, the way Grill and Cruz is shooting the ball right now. I mean, this team could call it away. I mean, I play with Coach. I think this team could still win the SEC.
When you think back and the times that you've watched this team, right? Give us and you gave us a little bit of a thumbnail sketch about guarding. and about the depth. But what are the other things that make this team dangerous from a defensive standpoint when you're trying to guard this team?
I mean, they're so tall, they're so long, they can take you out of your offense. I mean, if they really guard everybody, which I know they can, and coach keeps them playing defense like they are, the offensive part of will come. They'll get more scores in transition. It gets us out of that set where, sometimes we stand a little on offense, in my opinion. But the defense is just – it's been awesome this whole year. And the rebounding comes with that. And I think the wins, I think that's kind of showing these guys, too, that, they can beat people by 20 if they guard and if they play the whole game.
Back to your era just for a second, specifically the guys you played with, because, as you know, I've kind of done this for a little bit and had an opportunity to see a number of different, reunion weekends. Your group of guys, your teammates, are always very well represented. You guys always come back.
I wasn't able to this year. I was actually watching my daughter. She's playing pro volleyball in Madison, Wisconsin. So I was up, had to go watch her play, but I really missed it this year. That's the time I get to kind of reconnect with some of my friends, all the guys you just mentioned, and didn't get to do it this year. So, it's great that, especially our group seems to be really tight. Some of the guys still live kind of local, so that helps. But, it's great to get back.
Hey, tell us about your daughter.
Yeah, Taylor, I got my daughter Taylor, who played at Ohio State, and then has been playing overseas 7-8 years. Finally started a pro league here in the States. So she plays for Madison in Wisconsin. So they played in a tournament in Omaha that weekend. They actually just played in a big tournament in Kansas City this weekend. So got to see her play. My other daughter, Ellie, is playing volleyball in Germany still. So she's over in Germany. And my son, I'm a granddad now. So
congrats, buddy.
They just had a little daughter. So doing pretty good over here.
Yeah. Tell people where you're living these days.
I'm in Greenwood, Missouri. I'm working for Country Club Bank right now. Do home mortgages. Anybody needs a loan, give me a call.
And finally, Mike, when you think back to what does it mean to Mike Sandbo to be a Missouri Tiger, how would you answer that question?
It's pride. It's pride, and I'll throw it out to Coach Gates too. Coach Gates is, after what happened last year, how he's turned this thing around and kept his head up and got this team in the right direction. I give him all the credit and bringing that stuff, bringing Norm's kind of hard attitude back again and family, and I'm really, really, really happy for Coach Gates.
Hey, thanks for taking time. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate you.
All right, be good. That's Mike Sandbo, and I'm Mike Kelly. When we come back, Kyle Smith-Peters on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products. We've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
It's game day, Tigers. Score big with fast check-ins, short security lines, and nonstop flights on American Airlines right here in Columbia. Whether you're traveling for the next big game or a quick getaway, Columbia Regional Airport gets you there easier and without the drive. Take the home court advantage to the skies at flycou.com. Columbia Regional Airport. There sooner, home faster.
Come on. That was me, a proper internet troll, finally having enough, all because of slow, spotty internet. We've all been there. So switch to Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Its ultra-fast fiber and wall-to-wall Wi-Fi coverage have me throwing out likes and hearts like confetti at a parade. I love parades. Who knew?
Brightspeed Fiber Internet. Switch to the bright side at brightspeed.com/today. Limited availability in select areas.
Addison's restaurants are great local spots to visit before or after all Mizzou home games. Addison's has 2 locations to choose from in Southwest and downtown Columbia. Addison's features a full bar with over 20 beers on tap, including local brewers, and of course their famous Nachos Bianco. So, before or after the game, stop by Addison's. View the full menu online for both locations at addisonsgrill.com.
Dear winner, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Black and gold season never ends at the Tiger Team Store. Gear up for game day with the largest official selection of black and gold gear and gifts. From the latest Mizzou SEC gear to everything you need for your tailgate, the Tiger Team Store is your store for all things Mizzou. The Tiger Team Store has moved and is now located inside Mizzou Arena. Open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. with extended hours on game day or online at TigerTeamStore.com. It's always black and gold season at the Tiger Team Store.
Tiger Talk continues from Harpo's, a staple in downtown Columbia since 1971. From the creators of Beatbox and Peachtree Catering. Check out Belly Market and Rotisserie. Enjoy one of their massive sandwiches, house-smoked meats, delicious salad, daily specials. Their dinner program offers seasonal plates, fresh seafood, and new bar offerings. Tell them the Tigers sent you and get a special treat. Time now for our Socket Fiber assistant coaches conversation, and let's welcome in Missouri's assistant coach in his third season, my friend Kyle Smith-Peters, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
Where's the Rodman shirt?
Washed, hopefully. Hopefully RJ's taking care of that for me. He really helps me out. So it's one of those things where visual aids help, and hopefully it's helped us grab a few more rebounds this year. But if not, I really know what I get to wear for practice every day.
So where did this start? When did the idea say I'm going to get a Dennis Rodman T-shirt?
Well, I can't even say it was originally my idea. I got it as a gift, kind of really a gag gift. One of my younger brothers. I'm the oldest of 6, so. A lot to buy for, so he always gets us just kind of a vintage T-shirt or something to be funny, and it was a Rodman T-shirt at Christmas. We just got beat by Illinois, got out rebounded, and I was like, you know what? Like, I can use this. I actually can wear this one for the first time. Of any gift you've gotten me, I can use this one.
So we talked about it with Coach Gates, but from your eyes, out-rebounding 8 of the first 12 opponents in the SEC, seeing it starting to pay dividends on the court on a consistent basis, talk about the emphasis you put into it as a staff and how it's now translated to the way the players are performing.
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to give credit to Coach Gates, because it's one thing to bring an idea and it's another thing to be part of the idea. And he wanted to be part of this idea and knew this was an area we could improve in and could drastically. And he gave me a lot of freedom, a lot of ability to bring things to him. And, you know, he really did I have to commend him, because he didn't really, nope, not this, not that. It was, all right, this is what we need to do. This is what's going to work. And I know it wasn't easy. It never is. I've been a head coach before, too. People come with ideas all the time and change. And but for him to be able to push it, him being the one pushing it, I think was the big difference. And once we hit that spread about Christmas time with Illinois, that's really when he started, driving it home that this has got to be an important factor for us.
Yeah, you were a junior college head coach at John A. Logan in Carterville, Illinois, for 10 years, a very successful program. But how many years off of your life did those 10 years as a JUCO coach take off?
Well, I'd have to attest there's a lot of this gray hair coming through from those years, so definitely
because you're more than a coach when you're coaching in JUCO.
You are everything. You do laundry, you do all the stuff. There's days you had to make sandwiches. Psychologist is one of the key ones.
And not only to your players, but to coaches that come to visit you.
If I knew what I needed to get my degree, and I should have gotten that. Actually, I got a free one now. I'm just not certified. So,
okay. So you grew up in a basketball family, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. But the work that you put in at that level as a head coach, how much does that benefit you now at this level?
Yeah, and I think it's a great question. And I think every bit of experience you get is helpful. But I think a lot of times help is not necessarily seen in certain ways from the standpoint of you go to a situation like that where you have less, you have to do a whole lot with less, and you learn how to do a whole lot more. I see so many of these kids all the time, that ask questions and say, what should I do? It's like, man, go get a junior college job, a D3, go get as low as you can. You learn how to be very resilient you learn how to be very resourceful when you're at those levels. Not only that, you're very hands-on with everybody. You learn how to deal with a lot of different personalities. But, all in all, it was a great experience. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Really enjoyed my time there, and it was a lot of fun.
There's a part of the transfer portal that people don't think about.
Yeah.
You and I had this conversation actually on Friday night in Brazelton, Georgia. And it is this. There are so many opportunities for a kid in high school now to continue to play and continue to dream about ultimately making it to Division I. It may not start there.
Yeah.
It may start at junior college. It may start at Division II. But because of the transfer portal, it's still allowed kids to keep that dream alive, hasn't it?
You're exactly right. And with that, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Absolutely.
And if you want to finish where you started, great. But, as your years go on, you get bigger, you get stronger, you get better. You can continually challenge yourself by upping yourself level to level, which a lot of kids are wanting and trying to do. But, what I see so much now is people try to start so high and they get into that ditch, that rut, and then you got to fall. Start lower and build yourself up, build the confidence, get all that attention, be important somewhere. And you can end up exactly where you wanted to start at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all about doing your work, putting up numbers, and see where it takes you, right?
Absolutely. No, and I think the big thing with that, though, is it's about fit. This business is ever changing. Coaches change, programs change, all that. I mean, it's a great concept to go into. Like, man, I want to be here for 4 years. If your coach is there for 4 years, awesome, great. But things change. And, for the players to have that ability to decide what's best for them, I think it's a great thing. And all in all, it helps both sides.
It's Kyle Smith-Peters and I'm Mike Kelly. We're going to come back. Our final segment of Tiger Talk from Harpo's in downtown Columbia on a snowy evening in Como continues after this on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.
You could call it swagger. You could call it a vibe. You could call it confidence. You could call it cool. Or you could call it exactly as it is, Tiger Pride. Show your Mizzou spirit with the Tiger Checking Card, only from Central Bank. Sign up today at tigerchecking.com. Central Bank. Strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC.
Oh, did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Addison's restaurants are great local spots to visit before or after all Mizzou home games. Addison's has 2 locations to choose from in Southwest and downtown Columbia. Addison's features a full bar with over 20 beers on tap, including local brewers, and of course their famous Nachos Bianco. So, before or after the game, stop by Addison's. View the full menu online for both locations at addisonsgrill.com.
Hey, Matzo Matt here for Brewpub Lots of Matzo Pizza. There are very few things in life worth waiting for. Pizza's done.
Oh, I'm on it. I'm starving. I've been waiting.
I wouldn't do that. It's going to be really...
It's so hot. It's burning my mouth.
A Brewpub Lots of Matzo Pizza it's the epitome of delayed gratification. So when your Brewpub Pizza is done and the temptation to dive right in due to the deliciousness of every bite overwhelms you, step back, give it time, and know it's worth the wait. Brewpub Lots of Matzo Pizza is available in your local grocery store.
Final segment of the show from Harpo's in downtown Columbia. I'm Mike Kelly. Kyle Smith-Peters is alongside. Mizzou Athletics would like to thank its premier partners, MU Healthcare and Shelter Insurance. And remember the Tiger Talk and other great content available on the Inside Mizzou Athletics Sports Podcast presented by Shelter Insurance. Subscribe today wherever you listen to your podcast. You can hear from Matt Michaels and Brad Trinago on a weekly basis, and also watch it on the Mizzou Athletics Facebook page. This is our Socket Fiber Assistant Coaches Conversation with the Tigers assistant Kyle Smith-Peters, a native of the state of Illinois like myself. Also a former Saluki.
Yeah, how about that?
Good
That's
to
right.
see you. Hey, there's a lot of things still that I'd love to cover. Time won't allow us to hit it all, but I was thinking, on this trip and just watching you guys as a staff, like work and the amount of effort that goes in, not only scouting reports, getting teams ready, going through everything, but just the amount of hours you spend together as a staff, right? Like you gotta get along, right? So what's it like to be a part of the staff and kind of, if you will, give folks kind of an inside look at the personalities involved?
Well, I think, for one, you brought it up just a minute ago about being at Logan. I had a very good microscope across a lot of programs for 10 years. Had everybody in the country coming in and recruiting our players, and I was able to see the good, the bad, the in-between. And, you got to give a lot of credit to Gates for putting together a diverse group of individuals, but a diverse group of personalities. And, they can get along. There's so many of these staffs that just don't get along. It just blew my mind when I was at Logan. They'd come in, and you could just tell the friction. They'd talk about the friction. And it's just great every day to go into with a group of guys that I can throw an idea at CY, or we might not agree, but it's not going to be, anything about it. We're going to throw one at Charbonnet, or he'll throw one off us. Like, we don't agree. We just really try to strive for the right idea and really do a good job of trusting each other, knowing from what you just said, the time that is put into it. We see each other and how we respond to, a scout, how we respond to a workout, and just know that person's really putting their best foot forward. And that just means a lot when you're, got some guys in your foxhole every day you can count on.
Well, and guys you can learn from each and every day.
Absolutely. We got a very diverse group. Dickie Nutt's been a head coach longer than any of us in staff. Has great insight. CY's been a head coach. He's been in this game for, as he says, since the 1900s. So, there's a lot of really neat aspects. Coach Klein with the analytics, Coach Charbonnet from the defensive perspective, Coach Summers comes in, with head coaching experience as well, with Coach Mizzou being a very good friend of his, and we just get a bunch of different personalities, but a bunch of different ideas. And I just love the fact that we don't key in on one person for the same idea. We look all around and find out the best one.
What's the thing you take away from this team in terms of 19 wins in 25 games, 25 games into the season? What's the thing that you look at and point to when you talk about this basketball team?
I think, the impressive thing to me has just been stability, the highs and the lows. There's really not been either one. They've done a very good job of maintaining. That's really hard to do, especially.
It kind of starts with the guy who's at the top of the program.
You watch his demeanor, you see it, and that's what you get with your product. And it absolutely goes hand in hand. I truly believe that. I really thought I was calm until, getting around Gates more, and that, be able to handle what he handles the way he does is very impressive. But from a group of young men, especially nowadays with NIL, with agents, with everything the way it is, the DMs I'm sure they get before and after games, like, man, they've just been so great. And you got to give a lot of credit to, Tamar Bates, Caleb Grill, the guys that, have been in the program that went through what they went through last year to come in and just approach it that way. And I think it's really trickled down. And we got other aspects, like we just talked about a coaching staff. You bring in a Tony Perkins that's been through an NCAA tournament, a Josh Gray, a Mark Mitchell. You got all these different personalities, but they've been successful.
And the amazing thing about that, Kyle, is, and I hope I didn't cut you off, but you bring in those guys, those pieces to this puzzle after you won 9 games a year ago. What's it going to look like this offseason winning 20-plus games?
Yeah, no,
that's the interesting thing about it.
Winning is your best recruiting tool. I firmly believe that. We've got a slew of talent. These young guys, you got to give them a ton of credit. These young guys have worked every day. They're very good players, and they have literally brought it every single day from practice, just begging and waiting for time on the floor. Look at Teal Barrett, what he did at Florida. Look at Marcus Allen pull down 6 boards the other night. Peyton Marshall's been in the mix of it. The Illinois game made a big push. Honor Boateng started the first 5 or 6 games. You can get all of them and see the progress, but that's been the mentality that they've approached it with. And it's all because of those older guys explaining to them, hey, this is what happens. Stay with it, keep working, push, just be ready.
I don't know if you find this to be true, but the thing that I think is so cool is watching those freshmen interact with one another and how tight they've become in a relative short amount of time.
It's an impressive group from a talent standpoint, but from a personality standpoint.
Yeah.
They're great people. They're great kids. They work hard. They're respectful. You can tell they're going to be successful in the game of basketball, but I think even more importantly, you can tell they're going to be successful after basketball from the way they approach it. You've got a group of 5 guys that are CEOs and leaders and business owners. That's what they are. And that's how they approach every single day.
Got about 3 minutes left in the show. I'm just curious, has this team scratched the surface in terms of how good it can be?
I still don't think so. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it in segments, seen it in times. I mean, I know it's mid-February, but that's what gives me, even more excitement with this group. I mean, you got guys that seem to come out of the woodwork every once in a while. I mean, you got some really good players still scratching the surface that haven't really shown consistently what I think we can do, and I think it just goes in all aspects of it. So I think just the depth, the size, the knowledge that these guys bring, it just brings a lot of really hard things for other teams to really play against night in, night out.
8 different guys that have led you in scoring, 12 different guys that have scored in double figures this season, which is something that's really rare, for any team. Scouting report quickly on Alabama from your perspective.
I mean, they're good. Nate Oates is good. I mean, they're very good. Adam Bowman's him and I went to college together. Another Saluki.
Yeah.
He's been on with Coach Oates for a very long time, and they have players. They make shots. They play really hard. They rebound. They do things well to win ball games. They're a very tough out in 40 minutes. But with that being said, I mean, we're going to give them a really good punch, I believe, tomorrow.
When you look at the ability, and again, 15-1 at home, being able to protect home court, crowds have been unbelievable this year, haven't they?
Oh, it's impressive. There was a blizzard last week against Oklahoma, and you still had 13,000+ show up. And, I mean, my gosh, not like it's nice outside. But I really thought we'd have all these students studying tonight. I mean, I got my 13-year-old son with me saying, like, look, there'll be nobody here. They're going to be studying for class tomorrow. And look, this place is packed. So, you got to love the support that Mizzou brings and how they do this, because it's not like anywhere else. I'll say that.
And they're remote tomorrow. Right?
Oh, that's what it is.
They are remote tomorrow.
Well, congrats. Day off.
They are remote tomorrow. But will they be at Mizzou Arena tomorrow night? There you go.
There it is. We'll see them, right?
We'll see them indeed, and looking forward to it. Got about 45 seconds left in the show. Just quickly, your family. Talk about carrying the kids.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Carrie is the boss. She runs the show. I'm glad, because I have no idea where our kids are supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. So I'm very fortunate with that. But, her and I started dating through high school, through college. So, I mean, she knows how this athletic thing works, and God bless her, she stuck it out. Got 2 beautiful kids, Toby and Tatum, and, wonderful families back home. That was the big thing with moving. We lost our babysitters, but it's been a blessing, and it's been a really good thing for us.
Yeah, I was so stoked to hear that you were coming to Missouri back 3 years ago when Coach Gates extended the opportunity for you to come from Southern Illinois and join us here in mid-Missouri. Kyle Smith-Peters, you're a friend, you're a gentleman, and go get a win tomorrow night.
Thanks, Mike.
It's Kyle Smith-Peters, and I'm Mike Kelly. Thanks to all of you for being at Tiger Talk tonight here from Harpo's in downtown Columbia, staple since 1971. Mizzou and Alabama, 8 o'clock tomorrow night at sold-out Mizzou Arena in Columbia. And on the Central Bank Tiger Network from Learfield.